point of best of 5 series here. What have FlyQuest got left in the tank?
Yeah, I mean, we saw just yesterday, Cloud9 versus TSM. Based on the first 2 games of that series, you were thinking it was for sure going to be a Cloud9 sweep. But TSM was able to adapt, was able to change things around and start to pull it back. We'll see if FlyQuest is able to manage the same.
Reverse sweeps definitely possible, and definitely testing the stamina of the players. Ryze and Lissandra, not much changes so far. There's Jace, though, finds its way into the FlyQuest banned list. Don't want to deal with that anymore. Jensen 1 game, Impact 1 game, both the same result.
Right now, Team Liquid not forced to make any changes. Same 3 bans all 3 times. Every single one here for FlyQuest. They add 1 new one to the pool. Gangplank got dropped. Now Tahm Kench gets dropped off the list as well. And Team Liquid, instant hover into insta-lock. That's ours now.
Definitely been one of Core JJ's best champions, constantly saving teammates, making very good use of the Abyssal Voyage to gain map pressure as well.
And I think that Abyssal Voyage is so key when you're thinking, hey, the way in for FlyQuest is playing side lanes with Vipers, playing these carry matchups, and that is going to make it so much more difficult for him to do. But that being said, no Jace means perhaps more flexibility, more ability to run that lane in the early game for Viper.
All right, Rek'Sai's the hover. What can you get done in the early game? Rack up some kills, or it's going to be difficult.
And a stronger laner here for Wild Turtle as well. They had an okay-ish lane the first time around, and game 2, they lost 2 turrets just in a straight-up 2-on-2 fight. So a better laner in Varus will make it a bit easier. Team Liquid now have to decide what they want to play. If they grab a bot lane themselves before bans come in, or they go for something really aggressive from the jungle, waiting around to see what Xmithie's pick's going to be. Instead, looks like if it is Ashe, it'll be a strong laner for Doublelift. Matches up pretty well against Varus. I personally favor Varus a little bit, but not by much.
Yeah, I think Ashe is always a nice combo with the Tahm Kench, the ability to keep yourself very safe, and also having that ultimate for the hard engage is really nice. And another thing that sometimes isn't talked about enough with the Ashe is the Hawkshot, how powerful that is about scouting out early game junglers. Rek'Sai, as you pointed out, Kobe, needs to rack up those early game kills. Hawkshot, if you can use that to track that Rek'Sai, shut down that early game in combination with Xmithie warding and trying to follow him around the map, is going to make the job so much harder for Santori.
Once again, Zoe locked in. Definitely very difficult to deal with. Team Liquid protected Jensen incredibly well throughout all that mid lane focus that we saw in game number 2, barely escaping with his life.
FlyQuest, they might just re-up LeBlanc. The matchup looked fine. It was the rest of the game that fell out around him. Instead, Morgana gonna be the pickup here. Of course, can still go support, but that is flexible at the very least. Gonna make bans a little bit harder for Team Liquid.
And the Black Shield, very effective against the Sleepy Trouble bubble from Zoe. We'll see if it is, a solo lane with the extra AP behind it, or if it is going to be flexed down to JJ.
And I mean, if you want to put that in the bottom lane, your 2v2 should have a very significant advantage over Tahm Kench and Ashe when you are running the range support. And the only way Tahm Kench generally can turn those around is with support from the jungler, looking for an all-in, but Black Shield can help to shut that down also. So could be a powerful option to try to play through that bottom lane here for FlyQuest.
And you mentioned jungle priority being something that would help. Well, of course, FlyQuest got the Rek'Sai and now gets to add some bans in the mix as well to try to push Xmithie farther down, so that can be really solid. Team Liquid are throwing bans towards the mid lane position, but of course, that Morgana can still just be the pick.
I think it would be a pretty good strategy to focus on bottom side of the map. Varus and Morgana both have long duration CC available to them. And if you do have a Rek'Sai, that can turn into kills, into dragon control. Try and attack one of Team Liquid's best players. Doublelift is a guy with the most accolades on this entire team. He's the one with the 5 trophies to his name.
And certainly a lot of the success that FlyQuest has had has actually been through that bottom lane, through playing around Wild Turtle on these carries. He does have 2 wins and 0 losses on the Varus, a couple of wins and no losses on the Jinx as well when they were trying to play around him. He had some very, very successful games, including some very successful early game performances. It's going to be Viper's turn here on the Kennen.
Yeah.
Some of the answers already have been banned out. We'll see where Impact wants to go. I mean, I think you can do something like Cho'Gath into a team like this if you want to play a tank.
And I do like that FlyQuest have grabbed the early Kennen here. They still get to keep that Morgana flexible, and they have looked best when Viper actually had a good matchup into Impact. Game 1 looked okay. Game 2 was really, really rough. Xmithie gets to see the Jarvan ban, still gets to go for an Olaf here. He, of course, can immune the all the CC that everyone on FlyQuest has. Definitely a very strong early jungler. And Vladimir might be the pickup here for Impact. No tanks at all so far.
Yeah, Vladimir on the side lane, going to try and sustain for the early levels, but can become a very big team fighter if they even lock it in, which they do not.
Yeah, Victor is actually a pretty strong matchup into the Kennen. Certainly something that I think does trade early levels a lot better than the Vladimir does. So we'll see how practiced Impact is on this. I do believe it's his actual first play of the split on it, and it is in fact the first time we're going to see him bringing this out. Top lane Victor has not been popular for quite some time. It was really gaining a lot of popularity back with kind of the more tank style Victor. Earlier in the split and earlier in this year. We'll see what sort of strategy Impact actually wants to go for here, though, if it's going to be a pure AP Kennen or if it's going to be something a little bit more defensive like an Abyssal Mask into Sheen and those sort of style of builds.
And even, is he going to change up the point allocation? Now, you can't go Q max to get the lower cooldown to try and get more of those shields coming through that scale off of mana, or you can put some more points. People have been trying to sneak more and more points into the laser for wave clear and approach the matchup that way, focus on minions and trying to get AoE damage.
Yeah, your first upgrade often tells a lot about how you're actually trying to play it out. If you're going for the early laser upgrade, it is about shoving them in, is it about that wave control? And if you're concerned about the potential all-in, if you're concerned and looking to try to trade more heavily, then you go for that Q upgrade, for the move speed on the Q, and allowing you to kind of dodge out and also chase down your opponent.
All right, well, Champion Select is done for the third and possibly final time. Team Liquid, 2 stars in the jersey, representing the titles they have won, and looking for number 3 if they can get all the way through TSM and all the way through FlyQuest here today. FlyQuest have yet to find themselves in a final. They've got a reverse sweep like TSM did yesterday. Turtle looking for another title himself. We'll see if they can do it here. FlyQuest hoping they can showcase greatness and make their way on to St. Louis. The fans are ready, the players are ready, and so are we. Let's get ourselves into the game for Game 3. Always love to hear the fans still cheering on their teams, whether a game away from victory or defeat, here up through the end. FlyQuest sitting around on their side of the map, still choosing red as TL chooses blue.
It's got to start now for FlyQuest, and perhaps has to start in the early game here for them with Santorin, who has been such a strong player for this team. And despite the fact that Smithy was that first all-team jungler, Santorin was in the mix for those all-pro voting as well. Yep. He was the only man outside of those top 3 teams from the regular season to even make the ballot. So certainly has had a strong performance for himself. And we saw in the interviews after quarterfinals just how much making it back to this stage means to him. He's been chasing this really ever since leaving TSM years ago.
A lot of the players since leaving TSM have had an axe to grind. Doublelift himself, now equaling Bjergsen, 5 trophies each, wants to get back to the finals and take the lead in that matchup. He's been the one with the more recent wins, with the powerful squad built around him, where Steve was able to put together all of these star players. And there is a reason Team Liquid spent that much money on this lineup to build a winning team.
And it was to win more than just North America. They did that all throughout 2018, but kept coming up short internationally. This was the one that fans looked at the beginning of the year and said, maybe this is the squad. Maybe this is Team Liquid's time to actually make it through. And playoff Team Liquid looking good right now, poised to 3-0 FlyQuest.
Yeah, they certainly are. And when you look at the changes that they made, it's the players that, it's not that they weren't successful during the regular season. It's not that they weren't successfully in North America. It's the players who struggled more internationally that weren't able to cut it when it came to MSI and Worlds, and they have made those changes, and now it remains to be seen if they can match their success from last year or exceed it.
Jensen and CoreJJ, the new pickups, and they have been very good. Seen a lot of talk about CoreJJ maybe being MVP this split, and certainly a possibility as we wait around and look for the next play as Top is pushing around. And Viper, again, he's one of the big carries for this squad. Top difference needs to be the name of the game here for FlyQuest with this Kennen if they want to come back and get a game in this series.
Yeah, Impact doing pretty well, getting his lasers through the minions as well as harassing Impact and getting a decent amount of damage down there. One corrupting charge left for him in the lane. Scuttles have been traded by the junglers, so the top vision there. Smithy
forcing his cleanse. Bolter finds a slow, but there's gonna be a lot of damage. Axe gonna go in, but able to get away. Phase rush very helpful in that one. Welter runs out.
Yeah, procs the phase rush, just walks it out, does not have to blow the flash, but still cleanse down. It's going to be a nice advantage. If they could land another sleep, there is potential kill threat with the ignite available for Jensen, with no cleanse available on Pobelter.
I gotta say, it's really smart. He is running phase rush in a matchup where, as long as you can QWE on an Olaf, which is basically guaranteed he runs at you, you can actually outrun him and get away. Nice little buy in there, but that's why you play Tahm Kench. You just pick him right back up. Bot lane fairly close in farm, +2 to double lift. This is still a winnable matchup for the Varus, and they are getting some decent poke down.
Yeah, trying to control the minion wave here, pushing it right back out as well. Nobody really making a lot of the early aggressive moves so far. Olaf and Rek'Sai both full clearing the jungle, finishing up the last small camps now, and going for their reset.
And you can see the priority on sustain for this TL side. 4 of their players have actually taken biscuits. Doublelift has it as well. He has already used his first, but it's also taken mid, top, and support. Inspiration Tree has become so popular these days for almost all roles, even jungle as well, but just not for the biscuits.
Definitely powerful rune choice, and we'll see what else they can do as those things stack up. And they chug through everything. Now we've got Rek'Sai coming into the top side, hoping to get rid of this ward that Impact just put down, and it's going to make that lane pretty difficult to stomach when you don't know when Rek'Sai can come through. Makes it hard to push. TP has already been used by the Kennen, will be burned by Impact now as well to keep pace once he is pushed back.
I also like how you can even see on...
Ooh, that could be enough! The flash is too late! It's gonna burn! And that's first blood! 1v1 in the mid lane for Jensen!
Wow, Jensen gets it. The payoff for the early cleanse expended. That visit from Smithy now paying off as Jensen grabs a solo kill.
Yeah, it's my team now. Jensen's able to take over in the mid lane. Zoe able to find the kill. Santorin, by the way, I was going to mention, it was nice to see on the mini-map how Team Liquid were tracking Santorin's progress after he shows top to go for the control ward. They also had the timer on his Krug camps, so they immediately ping down there. They know exactly where Rek'Sai is, and Jensen here going offensive under the turret is able to get the ignite. First damage down here on Pobelter. Airy damage coming through on the last auto before the flash goes off. Secures the extra damage.
Yeah, Pobelter may be feeling safe after that sleep had actually missed. The Paddle Star wasn't going to connect as well. He had no potions, was so incredibly low. Just took the 2 autos, the area and the ignite, and he falls down.
So a W passive helping out too.
Well, if you like him, show us your hashtag LCS big plays. Let us know which ones were great. I think that one is pretty damn good. Jensen solo kill in the mid lane. Team Liquid poised to really push forward. For JJ, yeah. You're getting stopped quite a lot there. That ward, I'm helping.
I mean, being annoying definitely can get you the mental advantage as well. Stops a couple of these, a little bit of harassment. Tahm Kench does have the thick skin, heals up a decent amount though.
Ooh, actually gets that volley to hit, but yeah, no follow-up, not going to be a problem there for Wild Turtle. Just walking back there, currently minus 11 CS, but has the wave to farm.
Yeah, it does kind of reset the wave here, so Doublelift can back off. And you know, Core JJ hadn't actually gone back to base yet, but he does have TP to rejoin if he feels he needs it, and he will expend it. It was a good job by Turtle at least forcing that out, though, by delaying the recall a number of times. JJ had already gone back to base, already done his buy. Yep. So those were a little bit offset.
It is Spellbook Tahm Kench, so 6 minutes rolls around. That's first recall. Bam. We're back in here. I've got somebody heal for Doublelift. He can keep his own TP, and later on in a team fight, he can ignite someone when needed. Barrier goes down on the Morgana side. Ares much more popular for at least solo queue's poke status, but Guardian Shield, of course, quite useful to keep teammates alive in the back line, and just fine there.
Yeah, and I think Guardian's always very nice against any sort of burst champions. Black Shield plus Guardian can really help you stay alive if you are face checking into anything. You know, one of the big complaints about range supports in Pro is that how do you actually ward come mid-game? How do you be that player who face checks forward? And Guardian does help you with a little bit more safety, a little bit more survivability from any potential damage coming in.
As we saw there, Hawkshot once again helping them track Santorin for this early game, trying to deny Rek'Sai these early plays. A lot of, a very effective volley there as well. The Team Liquid duo down on the bot side of the map, definitely feeling quite secure in the early game.
Yeah, and credit to them. You know, TL is laning very, very evenly. This is the range support advantage over to the side of FlyQuest, but not really getting any edge here against the Tahm Kench. And we'll see if JJ can be more effective come that team fight and mid-game stage, where I think things can get more difficult for range support trying to ward.
Absolutely, and of course it's not even, you mentioned this bot lane here, +5 CS Doublelift. It's not even like it's a summoner disparity. They both TP'd back to lane. It's simply Doublelift mechanically playing it better and sort of intelligently playing that lane correctly around the Dark Bindings as well. Now this game is still very close. You've got basically identical gold despite the 400 gold first blood that went to Jensen. So you've got the top lane farm lead. You've also got 2.5 camps up for Santorin, out farming an Olaf, even through opposing hotshot. That is worth pointing out. Props to Santorin for this one, but has yet to find his first gank in this game as he moves up towards his offense.
And both of them are on the bottom side of the map here. It's an Infernal Dragon, by the way. We saw last game around. You have to keep eyes on that dragon. Olaf can easily solo an Infernal Dragon if left unattended. So a lot of expenditure of wards and completely checking down here by the Infernal Dragon by FlyQuest. Smithy stops so he doesn't get to give away any of those radar pings.
Slow, but a simple tunnel gets Santorin back to safety. This time, though, the scuttle is grabbed, and that is some nice golden XP towards Team Liquid's side.
And Doublelift now is post 6, so will have that Crystal Arrow available, does have that Ashe ultimate. Varus as well, ultimate available there, and the all-in potential of Varus plus Morgana is quite high, but with the Tahm Kench behind you, is Viper just going to drop the ult for some wave clear?
Yep.
Yeah, and he is going with the attack damage cannon, early Vamp Scepter. As we saw yesterday, it can be turned into the Gunblade for a little bit of hybrid, but looks like he might go for the split.
Typically, AD cannon is more 1v1 focused. Now a nice shockwave in towards Jensen, decent damage. No cleanse for Walter. He's not going to get rid of the Ignite. Simply command protect to drop that out. Trades ult for Ignites, a shorter cooldown and similar health bar trade.
Yeah, I think pretty well done, honestly, from Pobelter. And Jensen will have to be fairly careful here. He's out of those flash charges. Does have a couple running, though, to heal back up. Santorin is in the area, though, so we'll see if they can try to set anything up. But so far, hasn't really felt like Santorin has had many opportunities as he's been tracked by the Hawkshot. He's been tracked by Smithy. And Team Liquid really has been doing a good job of not giving Rek'Sai anything in these early minutes.
Just the farm. Only now a camp ahead of the Olaf. Smithy catching up in this regard. Still being very tanky. Has the center hold completed now. Warrior not quite done for the FlyQuest side, but trying the scuttle, trying to get the Herald, but sadly Smithy is here again and will kill yet another control ward. Can fight Shelly. Here comes the FlyQuest. You've got JJ here on top of it. Viper coming down, and even despite those numbers, 4 on that side of the map with Viper, no pickup.
Yeah, it's because they also had a recall from the bottom lane of Team Liquid, and it's a Tahm Kench with level 6, right? So you can have surprise visit from multiple members joining up. No risk there. Worth it.
Yeah, and it's so tough to actually take that sort of fight without Shockwave, without the Kennen ultimate either. You know, those big solo lane ultimates are such an important part of their kit.
That's still some damage, though. Pobelter is fighting Jensen close in the one-on-one. Despite that kill coming through earlier, he's still fighting him back okay. Sork shoes done for the Zoe means poke. Not going to mean too much, though. We still sit in this same game state of a very tight one here. Not like that game 2 where the lanes were getting completely broken apart and there weren't those failed roams we had from the previous game either.
Yeah, I mean, FlyQuest is certainly going to have their chances in the team fight. They do have a lot of AoE, a lot of crowd control coming out from this squad. So if you can get into the backline, it's more about catching multiple members in AoE than it is about isolating one specific person, because Tahm Kench can stop you if you just get onto the Ashe. But if all of a sudden the Shockwave is hitting the Zoe and the Ashe and the Victor and all these people are getting piled up on, Tahm Kench cannot save everyone, and you do have a good chance to try to knock members down.
Meanwhile, the ownership of the control wards over these objectives has traded. Team Liquid clearing out a lot of FlyQuest ones, and Xmithy starting up this Rift Herald with both his solo laners around. That should be a Team Liquid Rift Herald with plenty of time left on the plates.
Yeah, they should be able to cash in. We'll see where they want to try to take that. No turret is really within threat of actually getting knocked down, but they should, as you said, be able to grab that gold from it. with the extra dagger, Turtle's in some trouble, actually.
A lot of damage from Ash. The flash, one more auto. The ult's going to be tagged. It's going to force the flash into JJ as well. The bot lane stays alive, but that is every summoner down.
And that is huge health advantages here for the side of Team Liquid on the bottom side. Wild Turtle already has used his teleport, so there's nothing to get them back. That, at the very least, will be turret plate money.
And the ult to set up round 2 of this one in case it was a greedy recall. They're not in that brush, but that could have been a double kill.
Yeah, I like the check there. They're still going to be able to get the turret plates. And since the Rift Herald charge here is going to do true damage, you can bypass these extra resistances you're stacking up and get you a very early first turret.
And it's a lot of money towards his bottom lane. Double's getting his own share of it. Core JJ some as well, but that is cash in the pockets. And look at this, 2,000 gold. Team Liquid picking up right where they left off with a very big gold lead early on.
Yeah, they want to try to make a play on the top side, though. Impact low on mana. We'll see if Santorin can catch him.
Puts down the W, puts down the R, plenty of damage coming across, still following through into Santorin, and he can't get more out of it. It is a trade of flash, but the health we're getting a bit low. Heals back, at least pushed off the turret, means some gold is denied, then a second plate will go to Viper, but not the same quality of gank.
And trying something like that on the top side means that the Dragon is also on the table here. Team Liquid actually recalled their bottom lane, and there's no Abyssal Voyage, though, so they aren't going to push over for a greedy second objective, and FlyQuest actually have the opportunity to push back.
Yeah, we'll see if they're going to be able to actually contest that, as TL certainly will have the gold advantage on that bottom side now, and with the reset, going to be stronger on the map. We also do now know that this is very likely a Blade of the Rune King build with the extra dagger picked up on top of that Billswater Cutlass. And if he is going Blade of the Rune King, that is really committing to that side lane, that is really committing to the split push style from Viper. And I'm just not sure that that is the style to go against Impact on Victor. You know, Victor is someone who can sit back and effectively wave clear for such a long time that I don't know if you really will be able to get to the point where you can actually threaten to knock him down and threaten those turrets so heavily.
He's switching it around. That is Gunblade done, but Dagger's still in inventory, so it's a grab bag. I don't know if it's Nasher Tooth, that's Zerker Nashers.
Yeah, maybe some sort of a hybrid
Wit's End is very good, of course, now as well as a possibility for a 1v1 item. We'll wait to see, but it's new for me, and we'll watch it. Final hex score done for Impact. Drake picked up, no problem for Xmithy. We'll keep track of the game overall. It's still 1,600 plus the Drake for Liquid is a very solid start to game 3, 15 minutes in.
And since Team Liquid were able to push down that bottom turret so quickly, it opens up the Tahm Kench and Ashe to move from the bottom lane. This is so big for the mid game. Abyssal Voyage constantly threatening from the mid lane. Double lift with the crystal arrows. You want to get into the fog of war before you shoot it so that enemies can't see. He did apparently land that one, but nobody's around for extra damage.
Just struck a big pose.
It's a message to Poe Belter.
Yeah.
You were making fun of my Sona Ultimate last game. Nails him in the head with the arrow this time.
Yeah, not going to get anything from it, but does show off the accuracy, I suppose.
Exactly.
And, they are going to be pushing up this top lane, as you said, to be able to make that swap a lot faster. Victor can also hold in the 1v2 way more effectively with that wave clear than Kennen is able to. You know, if Kennen steps forward, it's going to be very vulnerable. And this could just be TL, pressuring 3 turrets across the map. You can see that the bot lane from FlyQuest is actually roaming towards mid, trying to threaten that. They know they're not going to be able to take this turret against Impact in that 2v1.
2-0 in turrets. This one's certainly going to go down. Plus 500 gold to the squad. And you can see that mid lane is down below 1,000. So very quickly, it'll be 3-0. Powalter can wave through this one. It won't be this wave, but you expect that turret to fall before too long. Still 2,000 gold puts Team Liquid ahead. Playoff TL is scary. And they have yet to lose that mask yet. FlyQuest do need to make this now a comeback win. Merc Tread's done for Viper, so not Xerkries, but Dagger in inventory.
There you go. Here's your conversion around that last outer turret. Team Liquid pushing in the last minion wave here, and Jensen
Black's good enough. Still, though, he's going to be forced back to base, probably the recall, and going to even take some of the little chickens down as well, as now mid-tier 2 is under fire.
Yeah, they're just going to continue this push. Now, this advantage that they have in combination with Victor to wave clear in the 1v2 has set themselves up so effectively. They have so much wave clear. They have the winning 2v2 right now, and they can look to even threaten these inners going for this tier 2. Going to get some good chunk damage.
All right, more damage possibly dealt. As we have mid lane under fire yet again.
My God, he's gone!
Goodbye, Wild Turtle. He sleeps with the fishes.
Oh, another turtle has made it to the water. Back in the fountain. And that is as soon as you see him fall asleep there with the Sleepy Trouble bubble, you know it's going to be painful, but Jensen finishes it off. And Team Liquid, once again, when they win games like this, you just feel like it's inevitable.
Yeah, they're just pulling them apart right now. JJ needed to go down to support Viper because Viper cannot wave clear that out effectively by himself, so that inevitably left a kind of an unfavorable matchup for Turtle in the mid lane. He has no MR, he does not have the heal or anything to help survive that. He just gets exploded.
And Team Liquid just crossing T's and dotting I's and killing members of FlyQuest who have yet to pick up an objective in this game. Not even a kill so far, 18 minutes in. Baron up in 2. That might be the next thing picked up here for Team Liquid.
All right, Jensen starts it out. You kind of zone him back with the Paddle Star, and then that allows you to land the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. After that, it's just the follow-up Paddle Star and the Ignite. This is why so many people really have nightmares about Zoe.
And Jensen with a predictive flash there, thought he'd be ulted by Wild Turtle, pressed it, there's an ult in, that's gonna be the reactive cleanse out of Pobelter. Team Liquid continuing to push everywhere, 3,500 up and waiting for the next big play.
Yeah, and they're just gonna use the Abyssal Voyage straight to top lane. They need so many members on the side of FlyQuest to actually respond to this. This is gonna force out a teleport from Turtle, but he's relatively vulnerable here. The rest of FlyQuest is moving up to assist him. They are just kind of getting pulled apart on the map, though. They really just have Pobelter with that effective wave clear. Everyone else feels like they need additional members to back them up.
Well, at least they burn the ult away from McSmithy, who doesn't have any more than the Kindle Gem for cooldown reduction here in this build. But that's a very, very small window to use for anything. I'm waiting for maybe the next round of something.
Again, just look at the methodical process of Team Liquid. All the outer turrets down, they move up, wards in both sides of the jungle, transitioning between all 3 lanes, keeping FlyQuest boxed in on their side of the map. The Cloud Drake is about to spawn here in 10 seconds and makes their rotation down to this side of the map pretty easy. FlyQuest are making an early move, though. They might want to try and do something about this, getting some wards in.
Well, they've got people around, but you've got a Quickly coming by as well. Quick find doesn't mean too much, though. Easy spell shield keeps JJ safe.
It's just so hard to check into Zoe. If you don't have vision around an objective and Zoe is set up there on pink wards, it's so dangerous to actually walk forward. And they have no true doing it. They are TPing in.
This is the play. Viper gonna ult towards the back line, finds a flash, gets a bit of damage, but he's gonna drop pretty soon. No stopwatch, and that's gonna be Jensen picking up one. Shockwave buys a bit. Looking at the back line access, the stopwatch buys more time. Jensen will drop to an auto attack, and a couple of kills have come through for FlyQuest. A shutdown across the board, but now Team Liquid looks angry, chasing on a Santorin, finding a bit of damage. Where's the death ray? The flash, the double kill for impact on carries. 2-0.
And Team Liquid still looking for another one. Turtle recalling in this brush. Did he get out?
Yes.
Walked his way out of that one. Smithy does chase him off, though. He's still down there.
And there is no way out. Even the Abyssal Voyage to send him to the grave. Not enough damage. The ace, 5 for 2, and FlyQuest desperation backfire.
Yeah, and they're gonna get the dragon here as well. Not able to get enough from that one, certainly, as it's almost all of the ultimates, all of the summoners coming out from FlyQuest as they felt they needed to pull the trigger at some point, but TL stands strong there and is able to take that team fight. You can see also Viper sold the dagger. He wants to go back to a full AP style build, so really just changing his mind away from going Blade of the Rune King. He wants to commit to team fight. He wants to commit perhaps a Zhonya's second item, and here he is TPing in very early on, but look at the gravity field zoning so many of the FlyQuest members out alongside Zoe. It's so hard for them to ever even join. By the time he's gotten all his damage out, look at Turtle, look at JJ, they're just now kind of joining the fight.
Yeah, FlyQuest with a valiant effort there, but getting through that small jungle corridor to follow up on that teleport was just too tall of a task. And Team Liquid, once they're split here, are able to chase down pretty much every single member of FlyQuest, actually, with the flash fall from Impact, and then we know the long chase down bottom on Varus.
Yeah, and that's a frustrating moment, certainly for Santorini. You know you have to be feeling your chances slipping away in this series. You need to make something happen. This is an elimination game here against TL, and they want so badly to go to St. Louis to match TSM in that finals. This is a team of very hungry players on the side of FlyQuest. You have these young guys, JJ and Viper, fighting for their first appearance there, and Turtle, Pobelter, and Santorin striving to get back to some of that success that they have had in that past.
But success might not be here for them today. 5,500 gold puts Team Liquid ahead, and that is a difficult mountain to climb. Sliding down game over game here. Only 2 kills on the board, and their last engage did not go well. Impact now very safe at the top side, and even with a fairly aggressive build, trying to win the 1v1, Viper is getting behind. This is Impact, up gold, lots of damage dealt, plenty of farm. Doesn't need tanks here. Impact on carries, might be a 3-0 as they knock down yet another turret.
Yep, no reason to stop here. The onslaught continues. Only 1 secondary turret even remaining for FlyQuest to try and defend around. And Team Liquid, during this time, you can just mine the enemy's jungle, taking all these small camps away, slowly chips away at the experience lead, the gold leads, and it continues to increase for Team Liquid.
And this is another game similar to the last, where both the solo laners on the side of FlyQuest are doing a lot of magic damage, really pure magic damage. You also have the Morgana dealing magic damage mixed from Turtle, and that is why we're seeing people starting to itemize towards that. Banshee's Veil for Impact, Hex Drinker for Double. If you already have a Spirit Visage on Smithy, a Banshee's Veil on Jensen, they are really getting that effective itemization that's going to make that gold lead feel like it's even larger.
Well, a few more things to do. Baron alive, and the wards are pushing through yet again. The ones that FlyQuest have already been disabled by control wards. Control is the name of this game. FlyQuest only kills. We're opting into a 2 for 5. Team Liquid have yet to give up anything here that they didn't get more back in return. Bounty's not even very big. 150 gold, that's all. It's the only extra gold that can be earned. There's not a lot of comeback tools here for the FlyQuest side.
Now, you've got to feel like it has to be about a huge flank from Viper, a huge shockwave from Pobelter. It needs to be about these playmaking tools. Perhaps even a Baron Seal from Santorin, but TL are trying to do all their due diligence. They're trying to fully control vision in this area to shut out any chances of FlyQuest getting those.
And once again, the tools at Team Liquid's disposal are amazing for this map state. They've got Zoe, they have Ash Arrow, they have so many things to punish face checking or moving up to try and contest this.
Talk about players being hungry. Jensen yet to win a title in North America. Despite how good he has been, it's eluded him for so long, and he joins the super team. Team Liquid were already victorious. They wanted him to do better internationally. His world performance, of course, quite good. And now looking at this 3-1-2, he got a solo kill in this game as well against Pobelter. He is looking on form, ready to go for that title in that fight against DSM if they can close out the rest of this one.
And if they can do it, he will meet up against his old rival, Bjergsen, who has always gotten the better. Definitely a lot of exciting stuff in St. Louis, but Team Liquid still have to finish this one out. They definitely have a big lead, closing in on the top side, turret defense mounting.
They're playing for Tier 2, not playing for smite fights. They are choosing to end this game through sieging. They've got Poke, Ashe, and Zoe can make that a bit easy. Victor still splitting in the bottom lane against this poor Kennen, who is not having a good time at this one.
And as long as you're taking away your opponent's jungle, you don't really need to push the pace massively because you're extending the gold lead. You're farming both sides of that map, and you're just kind of passively putting them further and further behind, but they are now moving over to this Baron. Thankfully for FlyQuest, they have that side ward that is spotting this being started up. It's not actually caught by the pink in the pit, so they know they're on it, and they're going to be heading over here. We'll see if Santorin can make a miracle steal.
From 6,500 down, can FlyQuest make this happen? And they're going to force them off the Baron yet again by walking over, but that's the Tahm Kench flanked. That's some of the team behind WildTorn. Of course, the Flash, he's drowsing against the Black Shield, and they will keep him alive. Now Santorin's going to walk back, and that was a good defensive move to get away from all the ults used by Team Liquid, but now it's 50 in the front line. Does have the ult, gets stunned up, but not down, and FlyQuest knocked down to half HP.
Team Liquid now do have a cannon minion here trying to push on this. Oh, inhibitor!
Oh! Jensen just shuts down Pobo to the shockwave, meant nothing, a hit only Core JJ.
Just got deleted there by Jensen again, and that is going to mean inhibitor here for TL. You cannot contest this without your Orianna.
Yeah, that's the keys to the castle there. They just knocked down the door. Inhibitor's going to be taken. Team Liquid steamrolling here. Game number 3, all but in their hands. Xmithie even gonna smite early on this dragon for the second charge to come up to finish it.
Easy pickup there for Xmithie. No one's gonna stop him, and the buffs just keep on mounting. 7,500 gold, an easy, convenient reset, mid-inhibitor down, which is free map control, and the double Infernal, even the Cloud Drake, that's all combat stats. And FlyQuest's only comeback is through combat, it feels like, and that's nearly impossible now. And they're gonna hope for some kind of miracle, hoping that maybe the AP comes through for Viper. Death cap is close.
All right, you have to lay the groundwork now if you're looking at the comeback, and that will be in this red side jungle. Here we go, though, is another look at Jensen on the Zoe. Keep your eyes. Bottom left corner, goes in. Paddle Star, as soon as that one is going to land, he flashes in, throws the Ignite down. He knows that is plenty of damage to finish off that kill. And I believe Pobelter, maybe he was also trying to clear out that minion wave because they knew that they didn't have good positioning to try and deal with that push. And that might have been the goal, but you got to keep your eyes on the Zoe because that damage is lethal.
Yeah, it's tough because he was already down low. I think he wanted to go back to the base to heal up. So you're just going to drop the shockwave for wave clear, but gets caught out and punished. And
another reactive black shield keeps Bolter alive, but that's a pretty short cooldown on Zoe's side. Already has 30 CDR just in items. Plenty of spam available as the red buff goes down toward Ixsmithy's side. Lots of regen for fighting up Baron and taking it pretty much infinitely. Look at that, 35 health a tick. That won't go away.
when you're talking about TL in playoffs, you really do have to look at Doublelift and the amount of success this guy has had in the last few years. The only finals he hasn't made since winning his first was the split he took off. This guy, despite whatever team he joins, he has been crushing it in playoffs, and full steam ahead for Doublelift once again as he is trying to meet Bjergsen in the finals.
That is why it's so exciting. Seeing those two go head-to-head, 5 trophies each. Bjergsen just cresting his 100th playoff game, adding a couple extra, but right now, Team Liquid have got the Baron down to 4K.
This is the
Santorin!
moment. Santorin is not gonna have to jump over the wall, and Team Liquid are gun shy. They are not willing to risk this game on a smite.
They have no reason to go for a 50-50. That's why I was so shocked there. We were all talking calmly, like Team Liquid was going to pull off the Baron and getting it down to 4K health. FlyQuest, though, they still have an option. They're inside the red side jungle. Can they strike?
Team Liquid only hoping to invite misplays. They get some positioning here. This turret loses another third of its health bar, maybe a bit more. Cannon's not gonna get AoE'd. And in fact, they will get turret number 7.
Yeah, and how do you ever kill Doublelift at this point with the Mob, plus a QSS, plus a Tahm Kench behind him? He feels so incredibly safe on this Ashe, and yeah, TL just gonna keep taking those guaranteed advantages. You have Impact splitting in the bottom lane. This Victor getting very, very strong. Viper does have the death cap N16 for himself though, so there is always that potential of the Miracle Cannon ult.
Speaking of potential, looking for the play into Impact. Flash over the ult, taking some damage though, and they're gonna flash away. One more tag! One more tag, it's out of range, it gets to stay alive. Oh, I've seen that one before in Doublelift games. Victor gets the solo kill, and now, right away, Team Liquid onto the Baron.
They're starting it off here, and the bubble goes through. It does hit Santorin.
Oh, that's only a little bit of damage. He's at least tanky and survives this, but look how far he is. He cannot get this Baron. This goes to Team Liquid. This must be the death knell that closes it out.
Oh my God, JJ just deleted from the map.
Emblematic of how this game is going. Jensen's kill number 5. Baron goes over. Team Liquid surely must win this game.
Yeah, Impact with the 1v2 on the bot side of the map opens up the chance for TL to close it out, and they are marching it down.
And here we go. The fans are ready. Let's go Liquid to the finals, to St. Louis. No one's going to stop them now. 5 alive. The turrets are gone. They find a stun. A cleanse is all that matters as they're going to mop up the opponents. Fast wins here. Team Liquid back on form for their date with TSM, a team they beat before, a Nexus they will smash, looking for title number 3. Pad the KDA, close the series down. Team Liquid 3-0 into finals.
Game number 1 had fireworks back and forth, but since then it has been all Team Liquid, looking strong heading to St. Louis.
They definitely are back in playoff form as Team Liquid, and so much experience on this roster.
Yeah,
back-to-back championships last year. They look for upgrades in the roster. They look for even greater success, and they're heading towards that finals.
But ever since this super team iteration of Liquid, since the beginning of 2018, they were the best team in North America, the best team in North America, and the best team in North America. First place regular season, 3-0 in the semifinal, looking incredibly sharp. A team that they beat in the regular season, or fought in the regular season as well. I believe TSM did win those ones, but time for revenge.
Yeah, I mean, and it is looking good. The piece that they added, Jensen here in the last game, especially on Zoe, does find so much control for them. All these burst kills coming through. One of the big questions, though, people kept asking for Team Liquid. At the end of the split, lost some games. Are they going to be able to win with multiple looks? And they did in this series. That may even be the most important part.
Yeah, they certainly did. And credit to Impact did look good, especially, I would say, in game 2 and 3. The Jace, as well as this Victor, he was going blow for blow with Viper. He was getting huge advantages in game 2. And he was a critical part of their wins in both 2 and 3. Laning phase from the Jace, 1v2 on the bottom side, getting them that Baron and closing out the game here in the final game. Definitely some reevaluating perhaps to be done about Impact's strength on carries.
It's always good to see growth out of players. I mean, Team Liquid as an org, the joke forever was fourth place, but here's the 3-0 in the semifinals. It's victory, victory, maybe a third one in a row now. A new era, I think, certainly upon us. You've already had the 2018 run looked so good, but Team Liquid gets number 3. That is the all-time record for consecutive titles. TSM had that 3 in a row back then. TL can take number 3 here in just a week, and I mean, the sky's the limit. This team looks so good and better than everyone.
I can't wait for the matchup because TSM have looked so strong in the back half of spring, waiting for Team Liquid to get there in St. Louis for the finals and go head-to-head.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's so much pressure on these rosters. TSM trying to rebuild their dynasty, as you say. You know, they fell off last year. Team Liquid trying to hang on to that, trying to usurp TSM and match their record. It's going to be a banger.
Now, TSM won the regular season against them, but we'll see what playoffs have for us. Now to hear from the reigning champions, Avli has an interview with the Team Liquid bot laner.
Thanks, Freak. Double of congratulations, but you had fans worried coming into playoffs, but after the clean 3-0 sweep today, you guys are looking again like that #1 team in the scene. What's this win like for you, especially after the rough week 9?
Well, it wasn't just a rough week 9. I think we went into scrims for playoffs. We had, 2 weeks of preparation, and we would go on consistent, 14 or 15 game losing streaks in practice. And we were just absolutely terrible. So I think somewhere along the way, after we secured first seed, we kind of lost the Team Liquid way. And we lost our play style, and we basically just completely forgot how to win. And I think a few days before we played today, we were actually just thinking, we had a lot of serious talks about, well, why can't we win games anymore? What happens? And, we looked back on our previous performances. Earlier in the split, we were stomping people, and it was well, what happened to that? Now when we practice, we're losing all 3 lanes, and we don't know what to do. So I was really shocked that we won today. I'm not gonna lie. I had no expectations. We had a 20% win rate coming up to this. So just really grateful. We were able to win, and I think the experience really shows. Our team's experience really shows. I think we were really clutch when it mattered the most.
Well, I spoke with Kane before this, and he said almost exactly what you did, that you guys were in a practice slump over the past few weeks, and that it wasn't until this week that you guys were able to pull yourself out of it. So from your perspective, what was it that snapped you guys out of it?
I think we just completely forgot, how... I don't know, I don't want to, sound super corny, but we just, forgot, what we do as a team. We forgot, the Team Liquid... the way to play League of Legends. We have a way to play, and we weren't doing it. We weren't executing on it. And we started just not trusting in any plays that were being called out, or I don't know. I think there was a lot of things. It was you can never really pinpoint it to one thing, but I think today, we just said, we know how good we are. We know just how individually talented a lot of players are. Just trust each other, trust in the play, and it'll work out, and it worked out.
Well, you need to find your way because you're going to be playing TSM next week in the finals in St. Louis, and you guys already have a losing record against them. So what makes you think that you're going to be able to pull off the win this time?
Well, the slump's over, boys. I'm already practicing for MSI.
All right, and if only to make things a little bit spicier, you and Bjergsen are going to competing for your 6th trophy each, meaning that at the end of next week, one of you guys is going to have more than the other. So is there anything you'd like to say to him?
Well, I'd like to shit talk Bjergsen, but he's kind of my friend, so I really respect him. He's an incredible player. If you just that series, right, the C9 TSM series, if that was a worse mid laner, I think TSM was doomed. So, you know, luckily we got Jensen now, and I think he is a really good match for Bjergsen, and I think, yeah, TSM this year, or this split, they've kind of had our number, and they stylistically have like kind of countered us. So we're just gonna try our best, and I think we're better.
Well, Doublelift, I'm wishing you the best of luck with that. Don't lose your way, and again, congratulations on today. And for another interview, Pastry is standing by with Steve.
Thank you very much. I am here with Team Liquid, Steve. Now, congratulations are in order soon, but I have to ask you, bro, I'll give you a chance to defend yourself. Why'd you chicken out and pick FlyQuest instead of TSM? The people have to know.
Well, it was pick TSM for the finals, you know, so we'd meet them there. Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense to me. And again, it feels like this team has just exceeded all expectations since 2018. What do you have to say to the team just with how much they've done making yet another finals?
I think they've put in the hard work. They've earned it. You know, this match against FlyQuest, I think that it was a lot to them to come to this match and try to win, but, you know, it was pretty easy. We prepped really hard, but, you know, they didn't put up a fight. So I hope TSM does in the finals.
As you said yourself, TSM now awaiting in the finals. You get to rematch against one of the most storied doors alongside Team Liquid and, of course, against Reggie. What are your expectations for the finals?
I think it will definitely be closer than this matchup. I'd love to beat Andy in the finals. That will feel really good. But it should be a good match. I think we're prepped. We've solved a lot of our problems, and we're ready to win.
Well, congratulations today. Best of luck in St. Louis. Thank you once again for talking to me. With that, we are going to throw it back to the State Farm Analyst Desk.